What does it feel like to be grounded? Groundedness is a term that most often we use in reference to another person. We might say, he is not grounded, she is not grounded, or he's a very grounded person. Most of us go through life with a lot of energy up here in our mind and a lot of energy at the top of the lungs. So there's a lot of emphasis in this part of our body. Being grounded is a feeling of being connected to the earth and having a downward flow of energy through the legs. So you're feeling a nice balance in the whole body. We're going to look at a few ways today to experience the feeling of being grounded. It's going to start with a breath, and then we're going to go into movement. So let's get started. So we're going to look at the breath. We're going to start off with the breath, and then we're going to take the breath into movement. You can be on a chair, as I am right now, all four corners of the feet rooted on the floor, grounded down on the floor. You can be on a chair, or you can come to standing. I'm going to take this next exercise in standing, but feel free to stay seated with your feet on the ground and parallel if you wish. From either a standing or seated posture, we're going to work with a breath now. So I'm going to ask you to take your normal breath and allow your exhales to be longer than your inhales. And we're going to do this for 3 rounds. In breath, and then out breath. And let your out breath be longer. 3 times. And then 1 more time. The exhale is going to be super, super long here. And get the stagnant stuff out at the end of your exhale, stagnant, and then let the in-breath rush in. So that just kind of did a reset for the central nervous system. Now from here, we're going to work on a breath that really helps with the feeling of being grounded. We want more energy, more awareness. When I say energy, I'm meaning more awareness in this area, right? Because the energy for most of us, the awareness for most of us is stuck up here during much of the day. We're going to bring the awareness down to this area through a breath. Let's start by breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. And instead of having it be nasally, like that, it's going to be more guttural, almost like an ocean wave, and your belly will rise and fall. So let me do the breath for you. Maybe if you hear the sound, it will help. Okay? Do that type of breath. It's a guttural feel. The back of the palate will feel open. It'll sound like a beautiful ocean wave. And again, it won't be nasally. Continue in your own pace. I'm going to describe it. Continue on your own pace. It won't be like that. It'll be... And the belly will rise and fall. Let the breath be even. If you get a little bit lightheaded, don't worry about that. That's only because we're not used to breathing in this way. We're not used to utilizing this part of our lungs and the belly with the breath. If you get too lightheaded, pause and return to a normal breath for a few rounds and then take it up again. Let's continue 5 more rounds. You can, I'm just moving my arms up and down, but you can keep your hands here. And then exhale completely, let it all get out at the end. And then your in-breath rushes in. And then close your eyes. And feel the experience of this particular breath. Do you have more awareness in the belly, in the lower body, even the legs and the hips? Has awareness moved from your head, your neck, your shoulders? Do you feel more balanced? We're now going to take this breath into movement and really get the feeling of grounding down through the legs. Let's go ahead and do it. All right, so in the next sequence, we're going to continue the breath we just did. And bring your awareness to the legs and to the area at the pelvic floor, at the very base of the spine. So that's between the genitals and the anus. You're going to bring your awareness to this area. We're going to lightly bend the knees with the hands on the hips. Keep this breath going. And now from your perineum, draw in. So it doesn't feel like the pelvic floor is sagging. It's the opposite of a hammock. It's actually lifting. And then from there, push down, actively push down into the legs. The legs might straighten a little bit. Push down into the earth. Consciously connect. From the perineum, extend down through the very midline of the legs. So you're pushing into the earth. You're actively connecting to the earth as you do this. You're making a conscious connection. The energy is going downward. And even if you bring your arms overhead like this, the energy through the legs, from the perineum, from the pelvic floor is going downward. Bend your knees. Bring your hands to your hips. Keep the energy moving through the midline of the legs, pushing down into the earth. So you're consciously connecting. There's a lot of power in the legs. And push away to rise. You can do that a few times. Bend your knees. From the perineum, the pelvic floor, it's vibrant. It's not sagging like a hammock. It's vibrant. The knees are bent. From the midline power of the legs now, push down into the earth. Consciously connect to the earth. You're grounded. You're here. You're authentic. You're real. Push all the way up. Bring the arms overhead. Broaden your heart, but keep pushing down through the legs. So it's the feeling of being authentically present with heart wide as the world. Bend your knees. Let's do it again. One more time. You're authentic. You're real. You're here. You're stable. You're going to push down through the legs, the midline power of the legs, consciously connecting with earth. Push up from there. Keep grounding down through the legs. Inhale, rise. So that authentic foundation, the stability of the legs, gives you more freedom in the upper body, more freedom in the heart. Bring the hands down to the side. Now you can do this 3-5 times. But that feeling of groundedness is a connection with the earth. It's a relationship to the earth. There's a downward flow of energy that goes through the legs, and that energy is calming, it's stabilizing, and it's the feeling of authenticity. Practice this in your movement. If you do whatever movement, exercise practice you do, practice that same feeling. You can be in lunges, for instance, in a lunge, and you can still connect down through the legs. You can still let that stability, that authenticity, that connection through the legs, the grounded feeling, support a freedom in the heart. Right? So that is the feeling of groundedness.